Las Vegas and Reno are home to about 3 million Nevadans, but the vast area outside these urban hubs has only about 200,000 people, or roughly 6% of the state's population. So why do so few people call most of Nevada home? The empty parts of Nevada are a vast expanse of the American West, and at the heart of this region's geography is the stark, rugged beauty of its desert landscape. The Great Basin Desert dominates Nevada, stretching across most of the state with its arid ecosystem of sagebrush, salt flats, and sparse grasslands. This desert supports unique wildlife and plant species adapted to extreme heat and arid conditions, like the resilient Joshua tree and the elusive desert bighorn sheep. Moving across the state, the topography shifts to dramatic mountain ranges, like the Sierra Nevada in the west and the Snake Range in the east, home to Great Basin National Park. These areas are marked by rugged peaks, deep valleys, and stunning vistas that draw adventurers from around the world. Nevada's geography also includes vast playa lakes like the Black Rock Desert, famous for Burning Man, and ancient lake beds from prehistoric times when the region was far wetter. Water sources in Nevada are scarce but life-sustaining. The Truckee and Humboldt rivers are vital lifelines, providing critical irrigation for agriculture and supporting small communities. Unlike Las Vegas, which relies on the Colorado River via Lake Mead, much of rural Nevada lacks access to such large water systems. The state is also shaped by significant geological activity. The Basin and Range Province, with its stretched and faulted crust, creates Nevada's iconic basin and range topography, alternating valleys and mountains formed by tectonic forces over millions of years. Ancient volcanic fields like those near Goldwell Open Air Museum hint at a fiery past. Human intervention has also shaped Nevada's geography, with projects like the Hoover Dam transforming desert areas into arable land and supplying water to Las Vegas. Climate change poses new challenges, with rising temperatures, shifting precipitation patterns, and worsening droughts threatening both ecosystems and human activities. Nevada's geography is a mix of arid deserts, rugged mountains, and ancient lake beds, reflecting a history of environmental adaptation. As we're about to find out, adapting to this environment has been a massive challenge, even with modern tech. Before Nevada became the state we know today, its earliest inhabitants were complex societies like the ancestral Puebloans, known for their petroglyphs and ancient settlements, particularly in southern Nevada. The Paiute and Shoshone peoples arrived later, migrating from the Great Basin region and adapting to its harsh desert conditions. Agriculture and hunting were central to their cultures. The Ute and Washoe tribes also thrived in the mountainous and lake regions, respectively. Spanish explorers seeking riches and empire were the first Europeans to make contact in the 1700s, followed by missionaries aiming to convert native populations. This period saw the establishment of early trade routes, but it was marked by conflict. The Spanish brought diseases that decimated tribes and introduced systems demanding labor and allegiance. Following the decline of Spanish influence, Nevada came under Mexican control after Mexico's independence in the 1820s. The Old Spanish Trail became a key trade route, linking Nevada to California and opening the region to U.S. economic interests. Growing trade fueled U.S. ambitions, leading to the Mexican-American War. Mexico's loss in 1848 and the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo resulted in the U.S. acquiring Nevada and much of the Southwest. The 1850s saw a rush of American settlement, driven by the discovery of gold and silver in places like the Comstock Lode. Forts, mining camps, and railroads sprang up, facilitating migration and economic growth. Nevada achieved statehood in 1864, spurred by its silver wealth and strategic role during the Civil War. But despite its storied history, much of Nevada remains sparsely populated. Nevada's empty regions don't have a high population, especially compared to the bustling urban centers of Las Vegas and Reno. The state covers about 110,000 square miles, roughly 3% of the lower 48's land area, but is home to just 200,000 people outside its major cities, or about 6% of Nevada's total population. That's less than the metro area of Reno alone. So why do so few people live in most of Nevada? First, the climate is a major factor. Most of the state is desert or semi-arid, with scorching summers and, in higher elevations, brutally cold winters. These extremes demand robust infrastructure like air conditioning and heating, which jacks up the cost of living compared to milder places like San Diego. Water scarcity is another deal breaker. Nevada's rivers, like the Truckee and Humboldt, are critical but limited, with nothing like the Colorado River's flow to support large-scale development. The Humboldt, for example, averages just 400 cubic feet per second, limiting agriculture, industry, and residential growth. Historically, settling in Nevada was tough due to fierce resistance from indigenous tribes like the Paiute and Shoshone, who fought against Spanish, Mexican, and U.S. forces to protect their lands during the 1800s. This slowed settlement when the U.S. was pushing westward. Economically, Nevada's rural areas have leaned on mining, ranching, and small-scale agriculture, industries that don't need large workforces like tech or manufacturing. Meanwhile, urban centers like Las Vegas and Reno, with their tourism, gaming, and tech economies, draw people away from rural Nevada. Today, the largest city outside Nevada's urban hubs is Carson City, the capital, with about 58,000 people in its metro area, followed by places like Elko with 54,000 and Winnemucca with 17,000. Compare that to Las Vegas with over 2.3 million in its metro area, and you see the stark divide. But if we look across the border to California or Arizona, we see bigger cities and equally harsh deserts. But why? Well, that's because California's Central Valley and Arizona's Phoenix metro area benefit from massive water infrastructure like aqueducts from the Colorado River, which Nevada's rural areas lack. Historically, U.S. settlement in Nevada focused on resource extraction, think silver and gold, rather than building urban hubs, unlike California's focus on coastal cities or Arizona's irrigation-driven growth. Mexico's northern cities like Tijuana also showed denser populations in arid regions due to trade and manufacturing hubs, a model Nevada's rural areas never adopted. Nevada's empty regions are both majestic and eerily desolate. Those who've driven through its vast highways can attest to the endless open space. Yet, for the 200,000 who call rural Nevada home, there's nothing quite like it. I hope you enjoyed learning about Nevada's empty expanses. See you next time, and as always, thank you so much for watching.